The athletes that Grambling State Coach Hugh Jackson brought into the program to bolster up that roster, many have high expectations of what the Grambling State Tigers football team will look like this season. And them playing Bethune Cookman, many just knew that they was going to finally get over that hump and break that 3-game losing streak that they had against Bethune Cookman in this game. Could Grambling be in the midst of playing 4 complete quarters to get this W this week? Guys, we're going to talk about it right after this. You know it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow League Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can become a member of the channel as well. Just click the join button. We got multiple tiers that you can choose. Pick one of the tiers and come on in and be a part of the family, guys. We're just having a good time over here. Like I said, we got some great stuff that's coming down the pipe. And also, don't forget, we are on the road to 10K. That's right. We're about to hit 10K, guys. So I want everybody to be a part of what Coach Walker is looking to bring into this thing. That's going to have your mind spinning like, wait a minute, Coach, are you serious? Yes, sir. We're doing some work over here. We're busting it down over here trying to make this thing do what it do. But you know what? Coach going to go ahead and step away from that. We're going to get into this Bethune Cookman versus Grambling State game. Because I know you're like, Coach, what's your takes on this? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. The expectations that I believe a lot of the Grambling State fan faithful have for this team with all of the athletes that came into the program, they were expecting them to really jump out the gate thus far and get some things rolling. When they won that game earlier on in the season, they were expecting Grambling to go ahead, hit swag play, and just take off like a hot comet in the sky, just burning at the speed of light, letting these teams know, hey, listen, y'all ain't gonna be able to stop us. We out here to go ahead and put this work in and let you know that, hey, every time you line up in front of us, you're going to get this business. And if you don't come in here and play 4 full quarters against Grambling State, guess what? Y'all going to go home and y'all going to go home with that L. That's right. Y'all going to take that L. Take that L. That's what you're going to do. Y'all going to take that L. But, you know, things haven't quite, come into play for Grambling thus far after getting that Northwestern State win, the second game of the season. Again, as I stated, many are expecting Grambling to come out here and push the button on these folks, letting them know, hey, look, y'all got to come with it. And I mean, in this game, the first half was a knockdown, drag-out type of game where both teams were trying to solidify themselves out there on the field. Bring some trickery out there. You had to get folks, off their marks so that they can go ahead and move you around out there on the field, no matter what they're looking to do. And which I was expecting Maurice Washington to play in this game. I just knew that young man was going to come out there. He was going to eat in this game, but he didn't play in this game. So I'm taking it either what I was hearing about him possibly being injured, that may be true. I'm hoping that he's over there hydrating himself as well, because another instance that came out, they were saying that he had some hydration issues as well last week when they were playing an event against Jackson State. So I'm hoping that young man is doing fine. Phenomenal young man. I'm glad that, he's back out there doing the thing that he loves to do, which is playing football. And like I said, he's been on a long road. And he's dang so bust his hump to get to where he is right now to be able to get out there and produce. So I'm hoping to see him back out there on the field soon. Bethune Cookman came out with the trickery, especially on special teams. You know how you can catch some folks slipping when they're not staying in their lanes. They're just coming down the field, just running at the speed of light, trying to make that tackle. And when you're not disciplined, guess what happens? You get caught with your draws down. And yeah, Bethune Cookman hit them with the pitch reverse, in which that ball went back up the sideline for a touchdown. Let's not forget about Mr. Keyshawn Bird, in which I stated early in the season, I was waiting on this young man to have a breakout season. And when I tell you this young man got the ball and took that sucker down the sideline, 82 yards, man, he was tripped up from taking that sucker to the house. Well, hey, listen, that young man was hauling behind, but the crazy thing about it was that play could have been stopped had, guess what? We stayed disciplined on defense, but it didn't happen that way. Even quarterback Quintarius Hawkins, he was able to throw a touchdown pass to Faison Wilson. Dedrick Talbert, listen, that young man, when he got that ball in his hand, he's serious about that thing. I've never seen a young man that runs with a purpose of dropping a defender that want to square up against him in the hole. That young man, when I tell you get up underneath them shoulder pads and run that ball, woo! That boy, hey, he come with it. But this game was like a tale of two halves. I was looking for more of that to come out of Talbot as far as him running that ball. And not only that, but Hawkins being able to throw that ball up and down the field against that Bethune-Cookman defense. But Bethune-Cookman let it be known that, hey, we can stand tall in this thing, even with them giving up a safety in which the Bethune-Cookman running back got tackled in the end zone right before the half, in which Grambling State was up 19-17 before the half. And I'm sitting there like, okay, Grambling State is really trying to put this thing together so that they can go ahead and solidify getting a win this week against a formidable opponent in Bethune-Cookman. But you know what? The crazy thing is you got to play 4 quarters. And I'm just trying to understand, like, what in the world is going on, because I give Grambling State credit. They held Bethune-Cookman to 3 points in the third quarter. But then you got the interceptions that's being thrown by Hawkins, in which, yeah, there was one that was picked off at the end of the game. That was a pick 6, in which, you know, Bethune-Cookman went ahead. They put the cherry on top to say, hey, look, this game is over with. Now, not to mention there was one interception that he threw where they were driving down the field. They were in the red zone in the second quarter, which they could have went ahead and went up ahead of Bethune-Cookman, you know, by a touchdown. But, you know, again, the defense was able to get that safety, which they were able to put points on the board right before the half, again, making the score 19-17. But it's just the little things that's going on. And not only that, then they come back in the third quarter. They're driving down the field, and guess what happens? Hawkins hit a receiver across the middle of the field. The receiver's trying to run with the ball, Bethune-Cookman strips the ball, they get the ball back, and then they drive back down the field again. So those are opportunities where Grambling had the chance to put points on the board, and they just shot themselves in the foot with turnovers. And not to mention, I forgot about the crazy penalties, the blocked field goal, and what else? And the blocked field goal, the penalties, and just costly mistakes on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. The defense had Bethune-Cookman, you know, stopped, in which they could have, you know, went ahead and had them kick a field goal, but then messed around, and one of the defenders hit Jalen Jones in the head, which gave Bethune-Cookman a first down. In any other game, if a team was driving, they were able to punch that ball in the end zone in the manner which you've seen a lot of teams do thus far. Grambling State would have ended up being down more than just about a few points that they were down, because that team would have took advantage and put it in the end zone. Again, the defense, as I stated last year, you got to find a way with this offense to get that defense off the field, to allow them to catch their breath so that they can continue to keep coming out there and play 4 full quarters of football. I understand there's going to be some games where teams are going to have to dig in deep to make sure that they're able to go ahead and do everything that's required of them, even though they're in a dogfight and the offense is not able to put them points on the board. But the defense got to find a way to turn that ball over so that they can go ahead and possibly put points on the board for the team, or put the offense in a much better position for them to get things rolling, in which that just didn't happen today. But I will say this. Dedrick Talbert rushed the ball 10 times for 67 yards with 1 touchdown, averaging 6.7 yards per carry. Can't forget about the defense getting that safety. Got to salute the Grambling State Tigers defense as well. Now, as I stated previously, both teams played some physical football on both sides of the ball. Now, Bethune-Cookman, they just found a way to make more plays in order for them to position themselves to get this W. And I know a lot of the Wildcat fans out there was waiting to see Keyshawn Bird get that big game, in which it's been, a lot of folks have been waiting to see, okay, when is he going to go ahead, come out the phone booth and give us what we've been asking for? Well, guess what? He rushed the ball 19 times for 162 yards, averaging 8.5 yards per carry. And Bethune-Cookman as a team, they rushed the ball 33 times for 199 yards. That's crazy. Now, Jalen Jones, on the other hand, he threw the ball 18 times, completing 13 for 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was sacked 1 time. We can't forget about the fact that Quintarius Hawkins for Grambling State, the young man threw the ball 43 times, completing 22 for 287 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and was sacked 1 time. Those 2 interceptions was costly in this game, in which the game was a lot more tighter, a lot closer than what many expected. Had Grambling been able to punch them drives in for points on the board, we would have seen a much different game than what we saw with Bethune-Cookman coming out on top. Bethune-Cookman got this win this week. They look to play Alabama A&M next week in Huntsville. Grambling goes on to play Prairie View next week in the State Fair Classic. Again, like I said, both teams had costly penalties. They both were over 100 yards apiece in penalties. Guys, that leads to discipline. I understand you're playing in that sweltering heat out there on the field. If you're looking to go pro, guess what? You're going to be playing in those type of conditions as well, if not worse. So you got to make sure that your bodies are hydrated and your bodies are accustomed to dealing with this type of weather, these type of weather conditions. Because, again, if you're looking to go to that next level, you got to make sure you got them things on point, got everything on point. But you know what? It's a good win for Bethune Cookman. As I stated again, they play Alabama A&M next week in Huntsville, and Grambling plays Prairie View next week in Texas, Dallas, Texas next week in the State Fair Classic. So, guys, we're going to see some more great football coming in week 5. Everybody make sure y'all tap into it, tell a friend to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibe. And, again, congratulations, Bethune Cookman, on your win. But until next time, be the one and lead.